What's going on YouTube? It's Texans Takeover here, back with another video. In today's video, we're going to talk about CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans offense headed into the 2026 season. After three straight playoff appearances, the 2025 campaign left a lot of people questioning the trajectory of this offense. CJ Stroud himself missed time with a concussion, and the offense ranked in the bottom half in several key efficiency metrics, and a rough postseason exit fueled the narrative that the unit had stalled. Now I'm here to make the data-driven case that this offense is primed for a meaningful bounce back. We're going to lean heavily on advanced metrics, starting with the gold standard efficiency metrics, and show why the underlying numbers, personnel upgrades, and scheme continuity all point upwards. So I think it's smart to define our most important metrics right away. EPA stands for expected points added, which it measures how much a single play increases or decreases a team's expected points scored on that drive. It's based on down, distance, field position, and score. A positive EPA is good, 0 is around average, and negative is below average. EPA per play, which is expected points added per play, simply divides that total EPA by the number of plays. For example, if someone had 500 plays in a game, then the EPA would be divided by 500. It's the purest single number for evaluating offensive efficiency because it accounts for context far better than yards or points alone. Obviously, someone's not going to have 500 snaps in a single game, but it was just a number. So let's talk about the 2025 season and give it a reality check. In 2025, the Texans' offense finished with roughly negative .02 EPA per play, ranking around 23rd in the league according to multiple tracking sites. Their success rate, which is the percentage of plays that gain enough yards to be considered successful, typically is 40% of the needed yards on first down, gaining 4 yards, 60% on second down, so making it third down and 4, and 100% on third and fourth, which is just converting the first down. The Texans sat at about 41%, which is also in the bottom third of the league. And a key factor of this was due to the run game. The run game was a particular drag at about negative .09 per rush, which is near the bottom of the NFL, and red zone touchdown percentage hovered in the mid to high 30s to low 40s, among the least efficient in the NFL. That indicates that too many drives that moved the ball stalled inside the 20, and the Texans had to settle for field goals or turn the ball over on downs. CJ Stroud himself, however, told a different story. In 14 regular season games, he posted a .11 EPA per play on nearly 500 plays, ranking him roughly 12th among quarterbacks in one major database and as high as 7th or 9th in others that use slightly different play filters. His success rate on those plays was 46.2%. He threw for 3,041 yards, 19 touchdowns, and just 8 interceptions on 64.5% completion percentage and 7.2 yards per attempt. Now let's compare that to his career arc on the same metrics from the same source. In 2023, he had that same .11 EPA per play with a 46.9% success rate. In 2024, which is the second year under Bobby Slowick, he had a negative .03 EPA per play with a 41.2 success rate. And in 2025, as I just said, he was back to that .11 EPA per play and a 46.2% success rate. So you can see the difference between his 2023 season and 2025 season analytically based on EPA per play, and success rate was just 0.7% of his success rate, favoring 2023. So yes, it does show that the 2024 dip was real, but it does show that the 2025 season showed rebound in his individual efficiency despite missing games and playing behind a struggling offensive line, which to me is the first major positive signal. So let's talk about the context, which really is that offensive line. And this context matters enormously, in my opinion. Multiple sources put the Texans' pass block win rate, which is the percentage of pass plays on which the offensive line sustains its blocks for at least 2.5 seconds, around 56%, which ranks near 30th in the league. The Texans were also bottom tier in run block win rate. So this shows when a quarterback posts top 10 to top 12 EPA per play behind a bottom top 10 pass block unit, that's a strong indicator of that individual talent overcoming scheme and personnel limitations. One analysis noted Stroud was essentially the only qualified quarterback to finish top 10 in EPA per play, while his team ranked bottom 10 in pass block win rate. His sack rate also improved to 4.9% in 2025, down from higher marks the previous two seasons. Yet the line still allowed constant pressure. CJ Stroud's ADOT, or average depth of target, which is the average air yards on his throws, sat at 8.5%, a moderate number that shows he wasn't simply dinking and dunking to inflate his efficiency. In clean pocket situations, his EPA per play jumped to roughly .20. The gap between clean pocket and overall numbers is the clearest mathematical evidence that better protection will unlock higher production from CJ Stroud. The concussion in Week 9 and subsequent multi-game absence, also fragmented his continuity. After his return, the offense actually averaged nearly 27 points per game in a strong late season stretch, showing the unit could still function at a higher level when healthy and in rhythm. So this leads me to why I believe the bounce back is mathematically likely. 3 concrete factors should drive his improvement and the offense's overall improvement in 2026. Firstly, it's the offensive line investment. Houston has continued to retool the front with veterans such as Wyatt Teller and Braden Smith, plus younger pieces such as Keelan Rutledge and returning depth such as Ed Ingram. Even incremental gains in pass block win rate or reductions in pressure rate historically produce outsized EPA gains for talented quarterbacks. If the line simply moves from 30th to average, Stroud's already solid .11 EPA per play has a realistic path to get into the .15 to .20 range that elite offenses occupy. Second, the running game. The Texans ranked 22nd to 24th in rushing yards and near the bottom in rushing touchdowns and EPA per rush in 2025. The Texans obviously addressed this by acquiring veteran running back David Montgomery, a physical early down and goal line back with proven track record of positive EPA contributions and short yardage efficiency. Pairing him with existing pieces creates a more balanced attack. Adding him to Woody Marks creates a functional run game, and that raises early down success rate, which in turn creates more favorable third down distances and reduces the pressure on Stroud to be perfect on every dropback. Analytics consistently show that offenses with positive EPA per rush sustain drives better and score more points even if the passing EPA stays constant. Third, scheme continuity and experience. Offensive coordinator Caley enters his second season after taking over in 2025. Year 2 coordinators typically show tighter operation, better situational play calling, and improved red zone design. We all know how much the Texans struggled at the 1 yard line last year. Stroud himself is entering his 4th NFL season with the same core skill possession talent, most notably Nico Collins, and has already demonstrated he can produce positive EPA under imperfect conditions. Young quarterbacks who post positive EPA in their third year, while fighting poor supporting metrics, historically improve further once the supporting cast stabilizes. We should also note CPOE, which is completion percentage over expected. While exact 2025 figures vary by model, the combination of a solid completion percentage on a respectable ADOT, average depth of target, suggests Stroud was accurate, relative to throw difficulty. Cleaner pockets should raise both raw completion percentage and CPOE. So now it's time to project the compound effect. Put the pieces together. An average or better offensive line raises clean pocket rate. A more effective run game raises early down success rate and shortens third downs. Year 2 scheme continuity improves red zone touchdown rate from mid-30s/low 40s toward the league average of the mid-50s. Stroud's individual baseline is already a positive .11 EPA per play. Historical patterns for quarterbacks with similar profiles, high individual efficiency relative to team supporting metrics in year 3, show meaningful jumps in year 4 when protection and run support improve. The Texans do not need Stroud to become a top 3 quarterback overnight. They need the offense to climb from roughly 23rd in EPA per play into the top 12 to 15. That alone turns a good defense-led team into a consistent contender. The postseason struggles in 2025, low completion percentage, and multiple interceptions were real, but they came after a disrupted regular season and against high-level competition. The regular season efficiency rebound already occurred. The next step is translating that individual efficiency into team-level success rate and scoring. So no, this data does not guarantee a Super Bowl, but it does show a clear measurable path. A quarterback who already produces positive EPA behind a poor line, an offensive line being upgraded, a running game being reinforced with proven talent, and a coordinator entering year 2. When those variables move even modestly in the right direction, EPA per play, success rate, and red zone efficiency all rise together. That, in my opinion, is the analytical case for why CJ Stroud and the Texans offense are set to bounce back in 2026 and drastically improve. So, that's all I have. If you did enjoy this video, please be sure to like, subscribe. If y'all did, Please hit the bell as well, as there's going to be more content coming out soon. And thank y'all so much for watching. As always, it's Texans Takeover, and I'm out. Peace.